is my session disconnected? I don't believe it has. Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another Chart Nerd TA video. So I'm going to be diving into Everdome this evening, and we're actually diving into some of the smaller time frames here. Just going to look at some patterns and see what's basically at play. So on the chart itself, I've got nothing on here in regards to indicators at the moment. Okay, I've got this one level of resistance that I'm looking at here for Dome, and I think, you know, if you do start coming up and breaking through this resistance somewhere, okay, that for me is your potential long signal back up to higher levels of previous resistance on the 4 hour time frame. Okay, so again, yeah, you can see here, okay, that this is multiple points of contacts on this trend line, okay, where you're continuously basically getting rejected. Okay, so for me, this is very strong resistance right now for us, and potentially you can see that what happened is, okay, we've been pushed down and under this trend line, and you know, when Bitcoin had a bit of a roll, a lot of the alts had a bit of a roll, and you can see that what happened is Everdome came down and basically retested this low here. Okay, it wicked down to that low. So what happened is you had this low here, okay, you broke out, and then under this resistance line you've been under this resistance line you've been retracing, okay, and you actually did pull back to this previous low that you impulsively moved off. Okay, so you found that again as support. So right now for me, this is quite a strong area of support, and if you do start to see Dome, you know, continuously maybe doing something like this, where it starts to just continuously getting rejected, and you end up getting squeezed down, okay, into this corner, okay, and you don't actually break out of this resistance, you don't get through it and get continuation, okay. If we don't, what we need to do is literally hold this low, because if you start to lose this low, okay, this trend line of support, I do believe you are in further retracements. Okay, next target for me in the minimum would be down here at this level of support, because once you lose lows, you start retracing to previous lows and also previous swing highs. So for me, right now, this is a very key area of support on the 4 hour time frame, okay, and it's a price of 0.00207. So it'd be nice to see that hold, and you know, if you did start to get squeezed into this corner and eventually broke out, okay, for me, as I said, that's basically your long signal. So what I also wanted to look at here, let me get that trend line back in. Actually, no, yeah, we will. So what I actually wanted to look at here in a bit more detail is basically right now you've got this low, okay, that we formed yesterday. You come up to resistance, you're coming back, and you're trying to break through. You're still trying to break through, okay, but at the moment it doesn't seem that we're finding much luck, okay, and we're still under this resistance. So what I'm watching here for, okay, what I think a potential play is, potentially you've got this level of support here. Okay, and potentially what could be happening is, okay, you came up, you ran into resistance, you're coming down, and you're going to get compressed here. Okay, and if you fail to get a breakout, this is a bearish pattern. Okay, so this would be a descending triangle. So this is what potentially gives me the thought that, you know, if this does play out and we fail to break this resistance line, we are going to have a technical target from there to there. Okay, and if you lose support right here, if you lose this line of support, you are in a technical target back down. You know, you can see how that ties up here, back down to 0.00207. Okay, so do get these resistance lines and these lines in your charts, because you can see that this is a descending triangle. You're caught between resistance and a horizontal level of support. If you fail to break out and you don't get above that white line, okay, if you fail it and you keep coming up like this, you're going to get squeezed into a corner where eventually you will basically drop. You know, if I was to get the EMAs on here as well, I think within the 4 hour time frame we do have sorry, I'm gonna have to set this up. We do have, so use the 20. Sorry, I lost myself there, didn't I? I was about to say something, but I didn't end up saying it. Sorry. I think yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I do think, yeah, we've got a death cross on the 4 hour, okay, which is normally a sign that indicates, okay, right now you're starting to lose. You're starting to lose this upwards trend. Okay, when you start coming down and you get this death cross and you start closing below support, it basically means that you're entering some downtrend. And you can see that when we did form the death cross on the 4 hour right here, this is at the point where Dome basically pushed back down to retest this local low. Okay, so for me, again, you've been pushed down, you've come back up, and you're getting rejected by this resistance, rejected by these EMAs. So for me, if you keep getting rejected by the 4 hour 20 and the 55, okay, if you keep getting rejected by this 4 hour 20 and it pushes down on your head, okay, as these EMAs start to come down, you are gonna see that loss of support. Okay, so in the near short term, again, there's another area right now that we need to keep our eyes on. Okay, it's a price of 0.00228. Okay, because if you start to lose that, this descending triangle pattern is likely to play out. If you hit your head on this resistance and you keep hitting your head on this EMA, you're looking to go short. Okay, back down to this support at a minimum. Okay, and then again, it's all about holding this area. So with saying all of that, okay, I'm gonna get a fib on right now. So okay, so we've got some sort of resistance line like that. Okay, fib. I'm going to take off the EMAs for a second. So what's happening is we're going from this low right here, and we're starting with what's basically happening from that low. We're trying to get back up to this high. Okay, so right now, what also makes me think that we are potentially going to continue to roll back down here, okay, and get rejected by this resistance line again, is because what's happened is from this low, you came up and we've ran into the 050. Okay, and right now we're being pushed back down, and we're producing lower highs and under this resistance line. Okay, so it just gives more confirmation that the more you fail to break out of resistance and the more you hit your head on the EMAs, that you are going to get this sort of rollover and basically retest the low that you came from. So on the short term, that's what I'm looking at here for Dome. Okay, and that's a potential play. It's a potential short opportunity there for you guys. But once, you know, if this area does hold as support, you are going to start again retracing back to this point. Okay, so if we did see ourselves do something like this and you do start to come down, get squeezed and lose support, I do believe at this point you may then start to come up, and if you do break this long line of resistance, wherever you break it, again you're starting to retrace back up to this high. Okay, and it's all about tackling the golden ratio, the 050 and the 0618. Okay, you can see that right now that is our resistance. It's our resistance, and we're failing to break above it, and we're producing lower highs. Okay, so it's just a little bit on the smaller time frames. I do think we've got a potential short opportunity coming, and as I've said, from current price back down to support, it's a short up of around 9%. Okay, on the 4-hour time frame. Now, what that would also indicate, okay, or what it would show to me, is that potentially what happens is you get big wicks. Okay, and these wicks tend to sort of get filled in with candles. Okay, so what I mean by that is you've got the massive wick, you fail to break out, you get rejected at the 050, which is what's happened, and you're getting pushed down by resistance, and you potentially get a body candle like this. This is a big bodied candle, okay, and this is a wick. What happens is this wick gets filled in with a bodied candle. Okay, so I'll give you an example. Let's clear it up for a minute. But say like this wick here, okay, you had this massive wick to the upside. Eventually you pulled back, you came up, and you got this big green candle that filled in majority of this wick. Okay, you can see it filled in majority of that wick. Okay, so right now what I'm thinking is you've got this wick here, okay, and potentially you're going to get pushed down and fill in this wick, okay, to the downside. And at that point, it's very crucial that that area of support holds. Okay, it's very crucial if we do get pushed back there that it holds, because you can see that is our local low here. If you do start to lose that, what you're looking at, okay, so we're going to get a different fib on. This is a retracement fib now, okay. If you do start to lose it, okay, so from this high to this low, if you do start to lose that, for me, you're looking at a minimum target of 0.00186, okay, and potentially with a push down at max to the 1618. And what would validate that a bit more for me, I know it looks scary, guys, okay, I know it would look very fearful for the project itself, but I do think potentially this is a potential, okay, it doesn't have to be mean that it is a play, but you could have had some sort of rising channel here, and what happens is once you find a low, okay, and you start coming up in this channel, I think I mentioned this in a previous video, once you lose support and turn that once you lose support of this support line and you turn that support line into resistance, okay, and you start getting pushed back down from it, you do tend to retrace to where you came from, okay, which would take us to actually to this 2 fib. But for me, I don't think that's the case. I think that if we was to have a deep retracement here, okay, you've had this impulsive wave up, potentially you would have this corrective wave down, an ABC, Elliott wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever it may be. We'll try and monitor it as it goes along. But you can see, look, you're getting met resistance to the 050. You've been pushed down, you're coming back up, and I do think eventually you will start carving out a larger double bottom pattern. I keep saying this to you guys, don't I? But you can see that if you did fall to this 1618 target, this right here would put in a higher low than these lows, okay, and it'd still be bullish structure, okay, and I keep saying it in videos, you'd be coiling up in basically some sort of larger ascending triangle. So I'm not sure if I've got it very clear in other videos, okay, but what I'm saying here is I just think it's healthy if we was to get a pullback here, okay, and not to be fearful about it. But you can see, I'll get that on again. Whoopsie, get the fib on. All right, so from there to there, you can see that if you was to come down to this 1618 area, that eventually you'd be coiling up in a large ascending triangle pattern. Okay, so if we did something like this, we had this, you had this A, you've got this B to 050, and you had this steep retracement down to support. Okay, these areas is where I'm looking for support. So do get this Fibonacci in, okay, from this local high, okay, at 0.0292, retracing to this local low at 0.0205. You end up getting your fib targets to the downside if we lose this support. Okay, it's all about losing this local low and the support that we came to yesterday. If we start to come down to this point, okay, and get rejected and lose it, okay, you can see that you're going to come down potentially and look to form higher levels of support. You'd have a low and potentially somewhere within this area a higher low, and at that point you start to coil back up, you bounce back up to the resistance. Once you break that, okay, in this resistance, you're in a large bottom structural pattern, okay, and you'd have huge targets to the upside, okay, and just for thought, okay, this is just a thought experiment from current price. If it was to pull back, okay, even from here, it'd be 150%, 154% long opportunity, okay, 150%. So again, guys, that's a quick update for you. In the near short term, I am looking for a bit of a pullback. Even going from, I forgot what I was going to say, what I was going to get into there. But yeah, for me right now, okay, you can see that we've turned this support that we was holding into resistance, basically. You can see we've turned it into resistance right here. Okay, so we was coming up like this. We came up, formed a higher low, and then we was coming back to this trend line for support. It was support, okay, and then we came up to it. We came down for it to support, but we lost it. We turned that support into resistance and are now currently being pushed back, trying to work our way back up, okay, running into that 050 that I showed you on the fibs. So yeah, for me in the near short term, guys, I think it would be healthy just to have a bit of a pullback. Okay, you've had this wave 1, get some sort of wave 2 in here, okay, a nice correction, a higher low than these lows, and then start to tackle this high as you come up, okay, hold it as support, and then you're getting your impulsive 1, 2, 3 Elliott wave, come back down, turn this previous resistance into support, okay, and then in the near future, if you hold that, you could be looking for a final 5th wave, and you will have some sort of Elliott wave structure where you've got a wave 1, okay, a wave 2 that we're looking to form now if we do have a steep retracement, a wave 3 breakout of this resistance, okay, and a wave 4 pullback to this wave 1 high with a final wave 5 push. Okay, it's just guesstimations right now, okay, but you can see that if this is a wave 1, you get a higher wave 2, you are looking for that breakout, okay, and it would be a good long up to go for on Everdome. Okay, so yeah, guys, that's just a quick update for you today. I hope you enjoyed today's content. If you did, please do like, comment, share, and subscribe. Until next time, from Chart Nerd TA, peace out.